in the Patrick Mahomes era of the Kansas City Chiefs. They got their asses handed to them everywhere on the field.
That's the most he's ever been down in a game. And I'm with you on that. I wanted a better game. I'm happy that Philadelphia won. I was rooting for Philadelphia. I asked you guys this on Friday, and I started to ask some of our guests that we had last week. And by the way, thanks for last week, everybody. It's good to be back home. Are people not talking about Philadelphia enough? Like that front that they have on defense, they got after his ass. Joe Thuney could not handle Sweat in this game. The middle pressure, Cooper DeJean and the way he read things for a rookie, that's pretty damn impressive. And his ball hawking skills and how hard that kid plays. You know, they did a good job on Saquon. You know, that's one thing Kansas City said. And Spags said, you know, we're going to form a wall. We're not going to let him run for 150 on us. But they let him do everything else. And boy, did Jalen Hurts step up to the table. I said it last week. He hit 71% of his passes a week ago or 2 weeks ago. 3 touchdowns on the ground, 1 in the air. And, man, I thought that was a bad call at the beginning of the game. And I'm thinking, oh, man, here we go with these effing refs again. And I think after the first 2 calls, you know, the one didn't go one way for Kansas City, one didn't go one way for Philadelphia, that they kind of stayed out of the way the rest of the game, the refs. There wasn't a lot of controversy as far as calls. And that's a group that didn't work together, obviously, because it's an all-star crew. Ron Torbert's a pretty good ref. But they get their ass kicked badly. Will Buffalo have given them a better game?
No.
I thought that throughout the game. Like,
Nope.
No.
In fact, I said that out loud last night.
Did you?
I said, man, here's something we do know. If this were Buffalo, they were getting their ass kicked too. They would not have been able to handle that pressure. That was incredible.
It was.
You don't see that happen. That never happens like that.
He couldn't step up and move forward or to the side to where he evades some of that rush. Or he's kind of slimy to where when he feels that pressure, he starts sliding up, the ball's up, and he sticks his head up, starts looking, and he's able to get out one way or the other. There was nowhere for him to go. There was nowhere for him to go. That was pretty good design by Philadelphia. And hey, if you want to get on Vic there, you know, he hasn't been good against Patrick Mahomes, but he was yesterday. Their defensive coordinator, you know, the Burper loves so much. That was a good day for the Philadelphia coaching staff. They had that team prepared and ready to go.
That was a historic defensive performance last night.
Yep.
Historic.
Defense won a game.
You don't see the amount of pressure generated with 4 guys the way the Eagles did it last night. That was insane. Absolutely insane.
07.
That is the best kind of night you could hope for any team. No, this was better than 07.
It was.
Way better than 07.
These guys are more athletic.
It resembled 07. But it's like, we're going to rush 4. They didn't blitz a single time all night.
Yep.
They didn't bring 5 at any point all night, and they got home on almost every freaking play. When does that happen? That was just pure domination.
Yeah.
There is a Patriots angle to this today that I hesitate to get into so early. But it's this, and that is you watch a game like that, and you say, see, it is built in the trenches. Look at it. Look at how they won this game. Look at the Philadelphia Eagles. Now, without debate, the best team in the NFL this year. It's not close. They kicked the snot out of the Chiefs.
On the flip side, Hurts had all day.
Thank you. That was the conclusion of the point.
Sorry.
And that is they had the biggest, heaviest, largest offensive line in Super Bowl history, and they had 4 defensive linemen who wreaked havoc on the best quarterback and one of the best offenses in football.
McCone, what's the stat you read Friday?
And
average
so,
of the offensive line for Philly.
6'6", 338.
Yeah, as much as we talk about how you build a team and you've got to get guys to throw to, the other side is you're going to look at that and say, look at the best team in football. Look at how they are on both sides. Build it through the trenches. You know, get to the draft and take a big guy. Take a lineman.
Jason Kelsey
Do that.
left. Jason Kelsey retired and they replaced him in the middle. The guy's an all-pro, like future Hall of Famer. That's how good he was. Yeah.
They developed players that were ready to step up and fill the void.
The piece on Howie Roseman in pregame I thought was fantastic. How they talked about how we built the team and that, the trust, and this is the year. And at the end of it, he goes, "You didn't even ask me about Saquon." And then they went to break. It was great. But what a job by Howie Roseman. I've complimented him all year. Like this guy's got it going on.
He had some excellent dance moves post-game as well, is what he had. That's what he was doing.
Yeah.
So that's the argument there about how they built this team. We had a historic defensive performance because of our defensive line. We had a historic year running the football because of our offensive line and a great running back, yes. And we won the Super Bowl. And we couldn't be stopped when it mattered most. That's what they're going to say. And that's the defense of the argument of we're not going to go out and acquire guys to throw to. We're going to acquire guys that we can block with and get to the quarterback with. That's what we're going to do.
And I get the national narrative in that and all the guests we had a week ago, but it was like 5 days of no one wants to talk about Jalen Hurts. And he played his ass off.
Well, he had a better Super Bowl 2 years ago. He was better 2 years ago than he was in this game.
He was more of a threat in the air. Yeah. Yep. But when the plays were there, he hit him.
Yeah.
Like when they took their shots, except for maybe two up the sideline where there's a miscommunication with A.J. Brown, he hit everything. But he was able to survey the field. He was able to set, reset, maybe move a little bit, keep the play extended. That one play he made with Saquon was unbelievable to the right side. Yeah, but good for Philly. Good for Philly. You deserved it. They kicked their ass. I wanted a closer game, too, because it became somewhat unwatchable in the third quarter.
That was a painful watch.
I'm just watching the clock. Like, get this over with. Run it out. Just keep running the ball.
Game took forever.
It did.
It did. It took forever.
God, it took forever.
Felt like a college game.
Yeah. But a halftime's too long.
Yeah,
halftime's way too long.
Yeah, but going nearly 4 hours is not the halftime's fault.
No.
That's
not
true.
It. Too many breaks.
People were saying, too, that it could be Mahomes' like 28-3. I went back and looked at it. Brady threw for 179 yards in that first half. Mahomes threw for 33. Like two completely different games in terms of an ass kicking. Like you said, Philly was all over them in a way that Atlanta wasn't even with the Patriots.
See, but that's why Brady and them talked about, you know what? There's plays there for us to be made. Mahomes, I don't think could ever say that in the first half.
No.
When you try to compare the two. They knew they could do some things against Atlanta. Atlanta didn't have a really good defense. Mahomes couldn't say that about Philadelphia's defense. Like you were shooting yourself in the foot. The fumble by LeGarrette and other things that happened in that first half. Like you killed your own self.
Yes.
They were talking about that at halftime.
They also weren't playing a stupid team.
Right.
Right.
Dumb team. Right.
I mean, it helps too. Yeah.
I mean, that is one of the lost stories of Super Bowl 51 is that the Patriots were playing a bunch of morons, which was able to, create the opening for them, right?
Owner dancing on the
left.
sideline.
They left the door open for them.
Yeah, let the owner
they
down.
did.
That wasn't happening yesterday. No.
Yeah.
No, that was a dumb team, and they got throttled from the jump. They got their ass kicked in this one.
Kelsey looked like he fell off a cliff.
That dude needs to retire, man. He's cashed. It's over for him.
He looked miserable.
Yeah. It's
miserable.
what I thought last night. They were having so many problems on the offensive line for Kansas City. I thought, gee, if only they had a tight end who could block, they might be able to use him to their advantage.
Like that one block on the right side
and
on the one
guy
side
on the line.
Yeah.
If they had a real football player at tight end, they might be able to use their tight end to block. But they don't. That's all. They just don't. They never have.
Yeah.
They have a glorified receiver play in tight end.
And they didn't jam him a lot.
I don't know what position that guy plays, but it's not the same one Rob Gronkowski plays.
It's called flex tight
That's
end.
all I got to say.
It's called flex tight
That's
end.
all I got to say about that. I'm not going to go back to that well.
He likes to
On
move
that
outside on the
stupid
bunch.
conversation.
Yeah.
You bozos, you idiots who
Stop.
want to tell me Kelsey is better than Gronk.
I'm not addressing
Get lost, all of you. The whole crowd of you. We've got
bet Gronk got hammered last night because of that.
We of course. I bet Brady was thrilled with how this went down. last night.
Supposedly he was
And
out
that's-
walking around on Bourbon Street by himself. Just
Last
getting
night?
hammered. Yeah.
Brady,
Some reports, yes.
Tom Brady,
Tom Brady,
Corporate-
nobody around him. Corporate Brady was out.
corporate, buttoned up, unrelatable Tom Brady
Yep.
went out on Bourbon Street.
Yep, probably with a hat on backwards.
Oh, I
and
hope he
getting
took
hammered.
off the $600,000 watch before he did that. The everyman that he is, Tom Brady.
Very
I
understated.
have a Maryland watch like that, one of those college watches with the red band.
Can we get Greg Olson back already, please? And can someone get Brady a cup of coffee? Because several hundred times a game, he stops mid-sentence and forgets how to speak. And someone let him know when they're going to commercial break.
Yeah, that was a swing and a miss a few
Yikes.
times. Yeah.
That's only the biggest broadcast you've ever been on.
They tell you in your ear.
Yeah,
Yeah,
do
he
they?
didn't listen.
Countdown.
Do they?
He didn't
Because he
listen.
didn't hear them.
Yep.
But this is a big conversation in New England today, and that is how this impacts this debate of Brady, Mahomes, the legacy of those guys, the legacy of the Patriots dynasty, the Kansas City Chiefs dynasty. Did Mahomes take a big hit last night? Tom Brady feeling safe forever, for now, safe enough to get trashed on Bourbon Street last night. He said the emotion is stronger when you lose than when it is when you win.
Same thing Brady talked about throughout the broadcast. Losing him, that those are the ones that stick with you more.
Tweet from Patrick Mahomes after the game. Appreciate all the love and support from #Chiefs Kingdom. I let y'all down today. I'll always continue to work and try and learn and be better for it. Want to give thanks to God for every opportunity he has given me. We will be back. That is from Patrick Mahomes last night. Notice there is no congratulations, Eagles, or any of that crap in there because he doesn't give a flip. He's a killer. And he will be back. I believe him. He will be back.
Yeah, I mean, he said all the right things after it. This one's going to sting. He was bad in the first half. And the interceptions were bad. He put his team they couldn't play mistake football in that game. You can't turn it over the way they did and give them short fields like that. Not only that, give them 7 points. When you're giving that defense 7 points, good luck rest of the game. And it was an uphill battle from that point. But for 3 quarters, they skunked them. That was an ass whipping. You put all the debates on hold for now.
Yeah, he's one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time, but he's never going to be considered the greatest quarterback of all time.
He's good.
Anymore.
He's damn good. And
it's over.
Everybody loves watching him play.
It's over.
It isn't over.
It's over.
You know what his record is through 5 Super Bowls?
What?
The same as Tom Brady's, 3-2.
Okay.
See what you got to do
Same
now.
record through 5. And so are you going to tell me that because Brady never lost by this lopsided of a score?
It's part of it, for
Is
sure.
it? Does Patrick Mahomes or Tom Brady play defense? Just curious.
They play offense, and he handed the Eagles a hell of a lot of points in that first half.
There is something to that. He also was getting his ass kicked in that game because they couldn't block for him. He had
no answer.
The whole game got so sped up on him so quickly because there was inescapable pressure.
Well, did he make it?
So am I making excuses for him?
Yes.
Am I being a Mahomes apologist? To a degree, a little bit. But I think there is such a body of work of him being so great that you say, well, things sometimes go sideways for legitimate reasons. The legitimate reason in this one is they couldn't block for him at all.
Yeah, and Andy had no answer for it because it became one-dimensional, and you just can't run the ball at that point. But they abandoned the run, and they started that double run fake. Like, what are you doing? 3-yard loss in the backfield. He had no answer for him. You can blame it on Reed, too, the magical play caller. Have something else up your sleeve. You found a way to get Juju the ball early in this game. I was so close to putting it on Juju for first reception in this game because I looked at the odds. And I went with Dallas Goedert. And damn it, he got the second catch for Philadelphia because Smith got the first one. And I wanted to go with Juju because he had like the biggest odds out there.
Okay.
And freaking he was first catch of the game.
Well, you
Season
didn't. Good story.
I could have bet $10 and won 9,000. Like,
Wow.
And I didn't. So I'm pissed.
9,000?
It was up there, yeah.
$10 would not have won you 9,000.
was.
But anyway, I know what the narrative was when Brady started losing Super Bowls. And after he lost in 07,
Yep.
and the Montana crowd said, the people in San Francisco or the Montana defenders like Tony Maz were saying, well, Montana never lost a Super Bowl. He was a perfect 4-0. So how are you going to tell me that Brady will ever be the greatest ever?
So was Bradshaw.
How did that narrative turn out? How did that storyline turn out for you guys?
No, getting to the Super Bowl is more impressive.
Thank you.
Yes.
And so that's the thing you don't punish guys for if you are at all consistent on this argument. Yeah. And I know that I am because I argued for days, weeks, months, years saying, wait a second, you get punished for getting to the Super Bowl and losing?
Yeah.
No, you don't get. Would you rather Mahomes have bowed out in the AFC title game or in the divisional round? No, that's stupid. So getting to the Super Bowl and getting your ass kicked is now held against you in the greatest debate. No, it will never be remembered. If Mahomes wins 7, this game's not getting talked about. It isn't. And Mahomes isn't even at halftime yet. I get that. Lot of time left. I just think, beware. It's silly to write off Patrick Mahomes after last night.
I agree.
And the good news for Brady is it's really hard to get to these games.
That's what he said.
And he lost an opportunity last night. And so the odds increase that he won't catch him.
Yep.
The odds increase.
The deck starts standing against you. But
That's good news for New England. That's good news for Brady. That's good news for Belichick. That's good news all around today for those guys.
That's why I laughed at the Montana's 4-0 because, like, you know, I'm the biggest Montana fan out there. But I remember the ass kickings the Giants gave him when they put him in a hospital, like in the NFC title games or the playoffs, divisional round. Like that, you forget those games where you play poorly. Like, whew, good thing they didn't get there. He probably got his ass kicked. Them talking on the broadcast about Brady getting a 10. And then the chuckles you're hearing, it's such a big number, 10 of them, and just talking his way through all of them. Like, it's the ability to get there is more impressive than anything. Jim Kelly's in the Hall of Fame because he got the 4 straight loss for.
Brady got to 10 though. 10. Brady got to 10 of them, so this does factor in. Brady got to 10 Super Bowls, won 7 of them. So when we talk about Mahomes getting there, yes, I'm 100% with you. Getting to the Super Bowl is more impressive than losing the AFC Championship game, no doubt. But now when we start to stack up resume for resume, and you talk about maybe potentially getting to 10 Super Bowls, which when you look at it, he's going to be 30 in September, and now you got to win 4 in your 30s for a guy that isn't exactly from a fitness perspective, I don't think he's as locked in as what Tom Brady was.
So this, to me, is going to be the very critical part of this. And I've got to be honest, if you're looking for the hope that he's not going to catch him, I don't think he moves very well.
He doesn't.
And I think it's starting to be a little bit more noticeable. And he also plays in a way that opens him up to so many hits.
Yep. He kept looking down at his leg. Like he had that leg injury from like 3 weeks.
It's when he gets on the run.
Yep.
And when he is outside the box, outside the tackle box, if you will, right? Outside. Yeah. All of a sudden, he's always on the run, and he's trying to make throws, and he's getting caught from behind. And every time he gets caught by the ankles, I think, oh, my God, man.
This
could end you.
Yeah.
Every single time. And he still does it. And to some degree, you say, well, you know what? I respect it. Because you're making every effort to make a play. On the other hand, you're going to get yourself killed, man. And I already think it's catching up with him. He doesn't move that well. He doesn't move as well as he was moving 4 years ago. He just doesn't. And yes, he had the ankle injury this year, so it's obviously him coming off the ankle injury
you remember
and playing through it. And I'm sure he's not playing at 100% right now. Does that last? Does that carry over into next year, the year after? All of those things. Is he playing to 45? I don't think so.
No. So you bring up a good point.
His clock is ticking.
Yes, you do bring up a good point there. You go back to that Tampa ass kicking in the Tampa game in that Super Bowl. He moved well in that game. Like as much pressure as he got, he still was extending plays. Remember he went lateral to the ground, like perpendicular, but lateral on that touchdown, like awesome. Unbelievable.
Yeah. You're not seeing that from him anymore.
He's not pulling the rabbit out of the hat anymore.
And if you watch the year with the Chiefs, he was not his best.
Wasn't great.
And so if you're looking for those signs that he's not, and by the way, the odds are going to tell you he's not going to catch him.
No.
Okay?
No.
But
how many years does Andy Reid have left?
That's fair. But I'm not worried about Andy Reid. It's more about him. It's more about the quarterback.
No, I'm just saying the situation around him.
If Bill Belichick had left the Patriots, does Tom Brady still get there?
Yes.
Thank you.
But I think we're also taking for granted the way that they were able to turn that roster over. That wasn't normal. Like that second half of the run for Brady and that stretch he went on in the back half of his career was crazy.
You lose Moss.
You can do that.
No. You lose Moss. You lose his Binky Welker. They replaced Welker with Edelman.
Yeah.
The Chiefs had to figure out a way to replace Kelsey. And if they can't do that, that could hurt Patrick more than anything. Because the receivers were great. Hopkins didn't do anything in this game. And Worthy's going to be good for them, but that's one guy. So after Worthy, what do you have? You got an aging Kelsey. You got other guys that are there on the tail end of their career trying to patchwork it together. Juju Smith-Schuster and DeAndre Hopkins are getting run in that game. They didn't do anything.
Style points matter, too. I'm sorry. They do. You've gotten blown out in 2 Super Bowls. You've gotten blown out in 2 Super Bowls.
Scoreboard.
That hurts him. It should.
Brady lost by more than 2 scores one time in his career in the postseason, that Ravens game in 2009. That to me, that matters. He was competitive in most playoff games that he was in. All 10 Super Bowls at some point.
Well, I'm glad that Brady bowed out in the divisional round that year and didn't get to the Super Bowl. And that way all that terrible game he had against the Ravens can be forgotten about. Oh, good. Patrick Mahomes had more touchdowns last night than Brady did against the Giants.
Oh, but we're going to count those garbage touchdowns that he had?
Sure, why not?
Oh.
Which one do you want to count? The first one? Can we count the first one?
Do we knock him for the essential pick sixes that he had in the first half?
You got to count.
The
Which ones are you going to count?
The Worthy one was impressive. 67 in the air on a dime. The Worthy one was
That
impressive.
was. I'll give you that.
That was impressive.
I really love the intentional grounding out of the gate against the Giants the second go-round.
Was
was
able to
good.
overcome it.
Yeah, right. I mean, come on. Brady had
Catch
his
a ball well.
crap moments, too. Not
like that.
last
Not like
night.
that first half.
Not like last night, but it's about the scoreboard. And I don't think Mahomes is probably – listen, when you lose out on the chances, those chances
Such
are
a
really
missed
important.
opportunity, yeah.
And last night's a big missed opportunity. So I just think the math starts to change more than anything. Forget the style points. The math is going to get harder. Really hard. And I think the bigger concerns are, yeah, sure, you want to count coaching? I won't. I think the bigger concern there is going to be the roster. That's a big concern there.
Yep.
Which doesn't mean that they're going to turn into suck and never be good again, but that takes time. That takes years. Brady went a decade without winning one. He had a couple of really good chances in there, but they didn't win.
That team's on the back nine of their semblance to what their run is right now. Because you think about it, it's when Spags got there. Was it 18, 19, right? 19 after the Patriots game. Like, that's it. So this has been building for 5 years now. So eventually it's going to come apart. Chris Jones is going to get older. You know, they got a young secondary. That's going to help them. But you got to replace guys in the middle, and you can't sign all the linemen. You know, Joe Tooney did not look good at left tackle last night. He's a guard.
Well, he's not a left tackle.
I know. I know.
Oh,
and it's
man.
nice of him to get out there and play it. You know, but you know what I'm saying? Like, hey, we got to make sure at least we have a tackle. We can't keep kicking our guards out. Like, that's not a recipe for success moving forward.
All right, let's grab your calls coming up, 617-779-0985. You heard in the call that it's the greatest Eagles team of all time. I don't think there's much of a debate there. This is a dominant team with a dominant performance in the Super Bowl. And as I said on Friday, if the Eagles come out with a win, now I'm not going to come in here and tell you that was not some sort of legitimate win. I know some people just want to say Mahomes sucks, the Chiefs suck. If you're saying that, you can't really say good things about the Eagles today. The Chiefs don't suck. The Eagles were that good last night.
Hey, if you like that clip, check out more videos from Zolak and Bertrand right here. For more Patriots analysis and opinion, hit this playlist. And for all the latest from the Sports Hub, download the app at 985thesportshub.com.